So it is Wednesday night, Thanksgiving Eve, and I did some shopping while I go through all the wines I bought for various reasons and talk a little bit about holiday types of wine, what to bring to someone's house maybe, what to pair with Thanksgiving fare. I'm just going to have a 20-year-old Riesling, one I've had numerous times. Just one of my favorites, and eventually it will be gone. So, let's see what box I start with. And some are duplicates, but not a whole heck of a lot of them are duplicates. So, let's start with, and I'm going to do pricing too, because I think it does matter. So for Thanksgiving and pairing with turkey, plus all the sides and the type of gravy, you can go a lot of different directions. I do believe Pinot Noir is your best bet if you're a red wine drinker. If you're white, Chardonnay, even Riesling, there's so many whites that can go Chenin Blanc. But when it comes to red, you don't want an overly large red. I think it would overpower the turkey for sure. But when you have a robust gravy, that can kind of work. I think besides Pinot Noir, you could go with an Italian type of wine, a lighter Italian wine, like a Barolo or something. There's a lot of tannin in there, so that might not be perfect, but at least it's lighter styled. Norello Muscalesi, some Mount Etna red, absolutely would work. I think some folks do like Zinfandel, but Zinfandel to me is very big, very alcoholic. I don't know if it'll work, but the tannin isn't super high. It's more medium tannin, so maybe that's why people would pair it. So maybe like a lower tannin red would be a good bet. So Grenache. Grenache would work as well. So Spanish or French Grenache or wherever you can get it from. But Tempranillo too, Rioja. I do like a Rioja, a restrained Rioja. Maybe not this brand. So Muga doesn't normally do a lot of restraint. Their Riojas are a little bit bigger. So this is Muga's Reserva, and typically 2019 is typically a really good value for quality, and this one it's gone up. It is now 31. Used to be 27, 28. I'm actually surprised it is that high. So I do believe it works well for a crowd. I'm going to bring it to a party on Saturday. Some sake. I always like having a few bottles of sake. This is the Nigori style with it's like a creamy. This one's called Snow Maiden, only $15. And I think if you like this style of sake, it's really good. The other contrast to that would be something called Living Jewel. Again, $15. This one's clear. Meant to drink cold. These aren't expensive enough that you can't warm them up. This one would be great warm. I kind of believe the Snow Maiden. I've never had that one warm. I don't really believe it would work warm. That one I would drink cold. And it's got like a sweetness, that viscosity and that sediment in there gives it a little bit of a sweetness. But good sake is supposed to be drank like great wine. Juan Hill's Blue Label. So this is pretty sure, let's see, it'll tell me on the back. So it's Mourvedre, Cab, and Syrah. I don't know exactly. Aged 18 months. Yeah, this is a big wine. I think this is a delicious wine, crowd pleaser, high alcohol, 15.5. This is a big boy. So a wine to drink prior to maybe getting into some other ones, because that one is pretty strong, and that one is $29. I think a good value for $29. Mourvedre heavy. I think this wine's great. Amancaya, a Malbec Cab blend, and it's the two families of Rothschild and, is it Catena? Or Bodega Caro. It's yeah, so 69 Malbec, 31 Cab, and this is not that expensive either, but this is a good solid wine to share with people. And I don't see it on my list. Why? Oh, $22. So I think a really good price for this. But Argentinian wines tend to be a touch less expensive. I guess it depends. But I believe that's a pretty good quality. Argentinian wines haven't gone up. Just was talking about this. Norello Muscalesi, Mount Etna red. This, unfortunately, has now gone up. This used to be 20 to 25 maximum. What did I pay now? 27. It is creeping up. I don't know if that's a Mount Etna thing. Just prices of wine in general, but that's a little bit disconcerting. I really like that brand and that wine. That was like my midweek. If I want a Pinot, but something red and light, but a little bit Nebbiolo-esque, that would be my go-to. $27, it's creeping up. Termez, so this is from, I think this is from Toro. Though it doesn't say, it just, oh, it does in the back. So Toro, the region of Toro, so it is Tinta de Toro, which is just Tempranillo, the name for Tempranillo within Toro, Tinta de Toro. They'll just call it Tempranillo in Rioja. And this wine, I think, is only like $20. And I used to love this wine. Not that I don't love it now. What I'm going to say and preface it is, I just, every time I have it, I must have it with other wines too, and it just gets lost. So I don't really remember it on its own. I will do my best conscientiously to remember how this tastes, and if this is a great bargain $20 wine like it used to be. I'm pretty sure this is pretty strong too. 15%. So these Spanish wines, warmer growing region for sure in Spain, and they tend to be higher alcohol. So perceived boldness. Cake and Ultra, this Malbec I always think is a great Malbec until it's not, and it's $21, so still in a great price point. It used to be sub 20. It's no longer sub 20. Pretty sure I got 2 of them. Maybe I did not. I did not get 2 of them. So that's, so be it. Good producer. Postscriptum, this is a Douro de Crescia. They make one of my favorite Portuguese reds called Crescia. This is less expensive, 2021. Doesn't say the grapes, but I'm sure it's a combination. Tariga Franca, Tariga Nacional. There's all sorts of Portuguese wines. This one is $28. I do believe you get good value for your money in Portugal. That's $28. I think you're paying a little bit for the name there, but Douro's a great region. So if you see Douro wines and it's under $30, 20 to 30, it's worth a try. You're not going to know the grapes. Tariga Nacional, Tariga Franca, no, Tinta de Roriz, which is Tempranillo. Tinta, but there's a bunch. Tariga Nacional being probably the heaviest in most of the blends. But they're typically blends of Portuguese, indigenous Portuguese varietals. So 2020, great vintage out of Tuscany. And this is a Gran Selezione Chianti Classico. So this is the level above Reserva. It's sort of in the same category as Brunello. I tend to like Brunellos better. And I've not had much luck in this. So $34. And I wince only because the Gran Seleziones are typically far higher priced than that 45 and up and into the hundreds too. And anytime I buy a bargain Gran Selezione, they tend to be not so great. This is a 2020, great vintage. I don't know this producer, Castello de Bussi, but I will give it a shot, open mind, and we shall see. I will not bring that Saturday. That'll probably be drank here. Silvio Grosso 2020 Barolo. This is a very affordable Barolo. Again, not something I typically like to go cheap on, but this, I've had this before, $33. Pretty solid $33 Barolo. So, not the most complex thing in the world, but a nice wine nonetheless. I might bring that on a Saturday because I would probably drink that and really enjoy that. So, I'm just going to leave those out. On to the next bunch of wines, and I'm going to do the first 3, and this is a sparkler. This is Bollinger, special cuvee. This one typically is $80, $90. This champagne is one of my absolute favorites. This house Bollinger, my favorite champagne I ever had, it's called Bollinger RD. It is fantastic, and this I paid $60 for 3 bottles. They are normally $80, so it's a bargain, but it's $60. So take it as you will. But good champagne you do have to pay for. So this wine is a little bit of a story. I used to think this wine was fantastic for the price. I reserve to say that now because of something that happened, and I'll speak to it in a sec when I see the price. And where is this thing? $20. So it's $20 for a Gran Reserva Rioja, which is extremely inexpensive. The last time I had this wine, and it was with friends, I opened it up and this waft of dill came out, and hence coined the dill pickle wine. It was terrible. It was so heavy dill. I don't know that it was spoiled. I don't know what was wrong with it. I don't know the vintage. It was terrible. It was the worst Rioja I probably ever had, but I'm bringing it almost as a joke, but also to say there's vintage variation, there's bottle variation. Let's hope this doesn't taste like that. That is not normal for Rioja, and certainly not this producer. If this one tastes like pickles or dill, I'm going to be shocked. And then I'll say, yep, that's off the list, because some reason that thing is whatever it is. One of my favorite Riojas, without a doubt. Maybe it's in my top 2 or 3 producers. So Lopez de Heredia, this is their Vino Tondoña Reserva 2012. They always release these late. The quality and elegance you get, and balance and freshness of these wines, and they age them for a really long time. So they're doing this on purpose. They're releasing when they think they're ready. They're not just shoving it out to markets. You could go out and rush out and buy them. This just came out. This is their latest release. 12 years. It's amazing what they do. Testament to their winemaking, to their traditions. 13%, super restrained in today's market of wine. This is $44 though, but worth every penny. And to me, it's all class, and absolutely love it. I bought 3. I don't know how many more they're going to have. These wines are not very easy to find. Their whites are becoming exceedingly hard to find. The Gran Reserva I've never seen. The lower end one was $35 there. They didn't have any left. Some people must be learning about it or grabbing it when they see it, but still a few of these 2012s Reservas out there. I think that's the new release, so it should be around, but there's not a ton made. But anyway, top Rioja. All right. This is Ringbolt. It's an inexpensive cab from the Margaret River, Western Australia. Sort of the same latitude as Bordeaux. The winemaker, oh, it says Heather Fraser. I think this wine used to have a famous wine consultant, but I don't know anymore. So I've had this on my list forever to try, and the price was right, $18. I'll give it a try for $18. I don't know what to expect. I'm not expecting anything great, but I've seen ratings on it before, and it's been good. But I had a good rating on this wine called Mother's Milk out of Australia, and I thought it was terrible. I thought it tasted like rubber bands. Rubber bands and red wine. It was not my favorite. No, that is just a bourbon, and bourbon's a category we could talk about for ages, but gosh, bourbon is gone through the roof for any what I'm going to call age statement bourbons. The prices are out of control. There was a time you could find Blanton's on the shelf for $40. Now it's behind shelves allocated, no age statement, and it's $250, $300. It's just gone crazy. Bourbons have gone absolutely crazy. I'm always searching for new categories. I think the category of cognac, Armagnac, rum agricole are great categories. Irish whiskey is still a pretty good category. You get a pretty good deal. But those, you get some super, super old cognacs, Armagnacs, rums for good value, where you add 15 years to any bourbon, and you're talking approaching $1,000. It's getting out of control. So this is Tyrrell's Hunter Valley Semillon, and it's 2021. I'm going to hold this for as long as I possibly can. I have zero desire to drink this now. The whole idea of Semillon out of the Hunter Valley in Australia is to drink it old. That is what I've heard. That's what I've been told. I've never had, it's been on my wish list forever, Hunter Valley Old Semillon. This has only got 3 years, so I'm going to park this for a decade, if possible. It should be possible. I got plenty of other wines. This was not expensive, so it's a $18 experiment. And maybe I forget it for even longer. Yeah, $18 for that. So I did buy 2 Sauterne, little mini bottles of Sauterne. If you really want a sweet wine around the holidays, Sauterne is an amazing option. Some in the south of France, sort of near Bordeaux or kind of in Bordeaux, but the Sauterne region. And I think they make some of the best sweet wines in the world. It's lusciously sweet, yes, but the acidity just gives them an elegance to them. When I taste a sweet wine and it's kind of flabby, The acidity is not there, it's just overly sweet and sticky and cloying. This has this acidity that makes it sweet but lifted, and it kind of gives it a light and sweet flavor, which is appealing. It's still very sweet. It is Sauterne, Noble Rot. It's fermented from the grapes that have rotted properly. So, but a phenomenal wine if you're into that. So that is the haul. Tomorrow, Thanksgiving, gonna bring a Martinelli Pinot, gonna bring one of the Bollingers, going to bring probably another red, not sure what. And the Sauterne, and maybe even pick up an ice wine for dessert. Ice wines are becoming more and more scarce as the weather warms and the grapes do not freeze like they used to. So that'll be what it is. So that is it. I guess if you're doing other cuisines on Thanksgiving, so I talked about turkey, I guess there's other options. If you're having a roast, gosh, you could have any red wine you really want to pair with it. Go all the way to Cab, Bordeaux, Marrone, whatever you're choosing of a big bold red and your desires are, go for it. That'll work. Ham, not the biggest fan of ham. A lot of salt in the ham, so that does pair well. Will make red wine taste better. The saltiness of the ham will accentuate the wine, red wine for sure. But I don't have a great ham and red wine pairing, just because it's not something I really design. Then if you glaze it, and then it's got a sweet glaze. If you add sweet to a dry wine, the dry wine will taste more bitter. So that's that combo there. Eat sweet food with a dry wine and tannin, the wine will taste bitter. That's just how it goes. With spicy food, similar. You eat spiced red wine and tannin with spicy food, it's gonna make the wine taste hot and more alcoholic than it even is. Doesn't work. Try it if you don't believe me. I've actually tried it. It's part of one of the classes I took. You eat something spicy, then you pair it with numerous wines and actually write down which ones it goes well with. And you did it with numerous foods. Numerous foods. That's where I found out that cheese actually went really, really well with white wine until you did it. And I had never really paired it that way. I'm sure I had it, but never really paired it that way, thought of it that way. Now, no problem doing that. I want a plate of cheese and I just want to drink white. It absolutely works. Fat, acid in wine cuts through fat in food. That absolutely works. It's why they do try to pair foie gras with high acid Sauterne, which to me is a little odd because it's sweet, but I think it's more for the acidity and the sweetness to cut through the fat of a foie gras, which is literally just all fat, but delicious if you're into it. A lot of talk, a lot of wine. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Have good holidays. I'm sure there'll be other videos before Christmas, and we'll talk more about some Christmas fare. I don't think I'm buying myself a Christmas wine this year, but I'm going to buy myself a birthday wine. What it will be, I don't know. I bought myself a birthday wine, was it last year or the year before? I haven't drank it yet. And it was the Montebello from Ridge, so one of the highly acclaimed. There's some Santa Cruz Mountains, Ridges, top of the line cab that I've wanted to try forever. Supposedly stylistically pretty different and always held in high regard. I think I bought that a number of years ago. I think it was a 2014 vintage. But this year, don't know what I'm going to purchase. I did find a lot of old Chablis. Ravenel is probably the top producer of Chablis in Burgundy, France. And I found a lot of old ones. So I'm really debating on getting a bottle for my birthday this year and drinking it. And then buying another bottle for my 50th. So I've been really trying to figure out what the other 50-year-old celebration birthday wine will be, and it was going to be a Bordeaux First Growth. I'm struggling with finding which First Growth I want in a vintage that's got some years on it. And then I said, well, I'm going to open up 2 reds already. Could really, really would love an aged white. So maybe I go with Ravenel, one of the top producers in Burgundy, and try a really old Chablis, something I would never have the opportunity to do. It's extremely expensive. His wines are extremely expensive and extremely limited, but legendary in their own right. But if I try a 1998 or 1999 one next year, that will have a lot of age on it. I suspect it's going to taste pretty outrageous. Pray it's not corked, knock on wood, but it'll be something to look forward to and to try. So with that, and again, happy Thanksgiving and have a good night.